So just to refresh so everybody knows, so we're here with Jay Horgan with Houston Diamond Outlet. You are the owner-operator of Houston Diamond Outlet.
That's right.
Your website, HoustonDiamondOutlet.com.
That's correct.
Correct? Okay. So, Jay, welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to do this. For those that don't know, I'm Grant. This is Jay Money, Johnny.
What's happening?
And then behind the ones and twos, we got Hector, the Spanglish gangster, back there.
We'll get you a microphone, Hector, don't worry.
Who doesn't have a mic. So, so to start it off, Jay, I've already introduced you, but Jay Horgan, kind of give us a little bit about your qualifications in the business, like what you, what gets you, like what comes to diamonds when it comes to you, like what's your history on that?
What's my history?
Yeah.
Well, I started 26 years ago. My wife and I had opened up our own shop, and it's funny. It was about a 8x8 booth in the Diamond District of downtown Los Angeles, and we really didn't have much. So what we would do is we had some merchandise on consignment. So when customers will come, we didn't have much to show. So one of us would get out of the booth, run and try to find it, bring it back, and then we'd sell it and then pay whoever we got it from. And with that profit, we would make another ring or make potentially part of another ring until we built it up and the showcase was full and, expanded and went from there. So it was the business concept, not so much, just, get in there and do it and make it happen.
Yeah. So you've been doing it, you said how many years?
26 years.
26 years. How long here in Houston?
12 years here in Houston.
Okay.
Right.
What brought you here to Houston?
The economy in California was going down. I mean, we were doing trade shows. We did wholesale retail shows all over the country, but the business in downtown LA was going down. So I asked several people, and all the realtors were telling me there's two places in the country that the housing market hasn't crashed. One of them is Sugar Land, Texas, and the other one is I don't remember because now I'm here in Sugar Land, Texas.
All right. Okay, good. All right. Well, again, just give us a little bit of a background on your business, Houston Diamond Outlet, what y'all do.
Okay, so we have factories, we manufacture, we have our setters, our designers. So a lot of the stuff in the showcase we produce. We have our own loose diamond inventory. So basically the process works as you come in, you have an idea of the ring you like. We have probably 700 rings in the showcase to choose from. If you choose a ring, then we can go on to choosing the diamond. And the diamond, I'll show you several different stones, tell you a little bit about what the differences are and why one is more expensive than the other. And then, of course, you make your own decision. And then like we did with Johnny, we put it together. So we have a setter there, does all the sizing, the setting, things like that. So it's all done there in-house.
Okay. And what we're going to do later on is we're going to get into a little bit more about that process and how that comes as far as the cutting and the choosing and the difference between you and somebody else. So we're going to get into all that, but I just want to kind of give a background of exactly what Houston Diamond Outlet is and what you guys do. So that's what we wanted to start off with, just to give a background so people know who you are. So what we want to do is we're going to break it down in segments here. First goal would be to next go into kind of just a history of the business, just a history of diamonds. Like Johnny said, I mean, Johnny's kind of like me. I don't really know a lot about diamonds either. Like zero. Like, I mean, I don't even think I know 0.5%. Like, I just don't know anything about it. So
you don't know half a carat.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know half a carat. Absolutely. So, and carat, it's like getting into that kind of stuff. Because like I said, I just don't know anybody. So I guess just for the lay person like me, like what is just kind of give me a history of diamonds. Like what makes diamonds so special? Like what is it? Why is a diamond a girl's best friend? Like what is it about that? What is it about a diamond that makes it a diamond? Like what is it about it that makes
Why
it
is
so
it
special?
so expensive?
Yeah.
So expensive. Well, number one.
Well, it's expensive, but I mean special. Like just diamonds. Besides the fact that they look pretty, I mean they look good. But I mean like I try to get the allure of diamonds. I don't understand it.
Okay. Well, won't get into the how an actual diamond is formed under the earth over a
Right.
billion years ago.
Right.
But over the time that I've been studying diamonds, I went to school, learned how to grade diamonds, the GIA and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So very basic understanding is a couple hundred years before Christ. I mean, the Indians were finding the stuff in the ground, and it was shiny. And that's one of the things that still attracts us to it.
Sure.
Now, of course, they didn't have the ability to cut it and form it into what we consider a diamond today.
Right.
But one of the things that they noticed is it was extremely hard and unbreakable.
Okay.
So that was something that was, very unique. They couldn't break this thing, this shiny thing. It was my understanding that they would take the diamond and put it in a vessel filled with water, and if you went like this, just stirred it around a little bit, it would scratch the inside of the glass vessel.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that was unique. Other gems wouldn't necessarily do that. Now, that was my understanding of when I went to school 20-something years ago. But from then on, it's always been something that the people in power, the rulers, would want to obtain these diamonds to have. And of course, back then, they weren't fashioned the way they are now. So it's always been that thing about the shininess and the unbreakability of the stone that made it more unique than any of the other gemstones that were, of course, much softer and breakable and things like that.
Okay. So, because I didn't, I mean, about diamonds being hard, but I didn't know that they unbreakable. I mean, you can't break a diamond, basically?
Well, back then, they called it, that's what they called it. Is
Okay.
it unbreakable? No, of course it's breakable.
Okay.
The diamond is formed in 8 planes, much like a piece of wood.
Okay.
So if you take a 2x4 and you have it standing straight up, the plane goes like this in the 2x4. So if I go hit it this way with an axe, it'll split right down the center, real easy. If I go this way, not so much.
Okay.
So the diamond's got 8 planes in it, so it can be cleaved in 8 different directions.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like something you hit it with a blunt object that's going to break.
I got you. Okay. All right. So, what are the different segments of the diamond business? Like when you break it down, I mean, to me, I just know a jewelry store. I mean, that's basically all I know.
Well, first of all, you have De Beers, which buys the rough diamond out of the ground. They bring it back to London, and they have what's called a site, where they invite huge companies that have passed certain tests and qualifications to become what's called as a site holder.
Okay.
Okay, so De Beers buys the rough. They sell the rough to the site holders. The site holders then either cut the stones, or they sell the rough to a secondary market, and then you have other cutters.
Okay.
So from there, you have people like myself that buy from the cutters, and obviously you have to buy in such a quantity where it's going to make it worth their while.
Right.
And then dealers like myself will sell to smaller individual stores and things like that. And over the years, since the internet came around, now instead of me selling to someone that's going to sell, potentially could be 2 or 3 brokers before it hits the end buyer. Now it's basically De Beers site holder, me, consumer.
Okay. All right. So you're selling. So you're not only selling to an individual, you're selling to stores and things like that. That's what you're doing.
We had been in the past,
Okay.
not so much anymore, because the profit isn't there.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
And I prefer to get paid right away
Okay. Okay. I'm with you. All right.
than following around trying to collect my money.
Yeah, so all the stores are on consignment when you go through the stores.
Yeah, or they'll sell something and don't pay me for 30, 60, 90 days, and it's an argument back and forth.
I'm with
Gotcha.
you. Okay. So what's the difference between wholesale and retail stores? Just like it is in any kind of business, wholesale and retail?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought about this a little bit. What myself as a wholesaler is I can buy in such quantity that I am able to sell to the public at or below the price it would cost me to buy that one stone in the market.
Okay.
So that's basically my definition of what a wholesaler is. If I try to buy one stone in the diamond market, let's say it will cost me $10. Well, if I'm buying a whole bunch of stones and I could buy it for $7, I could potentially sell it for $9, which is less than what it would cost me to buy that one stone.
I gotcha. Okay.
Basically buying in bulk so that you get a price reduction in it.
Right, basically.
And which in the past has allowed you to be able to sell them to the stores direct if you wanted to, because you're
Right.
buying in such bulk that those stores or kiosks or whoever can't necessarily buy in that much quantity. So they're coming to you as kind of a middleman because you're the one investing in all the quantity. Therefore, the stores buy directly from you. And clients like myself buy directly from you at the same price that the stores buy from you.
Exactly.
And that's why you're more cost effective than the stores. Now, I might go to a store and see a stone, let's call it a 1 carat stone, and you have the same, I won't call it the same, but you have a 1 carat stone too, but yours is the same price, but it's a lot better quality than what the store is selling.
Yeah, that's correct. Pretty much what you're going to find at a retail store, I'm talking a mall store, stuff like that, is pretty low-end quality because they're trying to compete price-wise, and you know,
That's
and
what I've
it's-
noticed.
Right. It's my job when you come in, I'll show you what the difference is. And if you go like to go back and take a look at Zales or
Well,
Jared's, now when you go back, you go,
You know what
"Oh
to
my
look
God."
for.
Yeah, you know what to
Well, and you gave me the option when I was there to buy what they would typically sell there with all of the imperfections in it.
Right. You always
What
have
is the
to-
proper word for imperfections? Inclusions?
inclusions or imperfections, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not as clean a cut at a retail store like that, is what you're saying?
Not the cut, the natural imperfections, the black carbon specks, as most people are familiar with, or
Okay.
the cracks or the other imperfections in the stone, which are natural in the diamond. Very hard to find a stone that doesn't have any imperfections. So, we like to have a balance where you get a good-looking stone, got some imperfections or inclusions, but it's not something that's going to be obvious or noticeable to someone looking at it.
Okay.
And that way you can get a very good value.
So tell me what the difference would be between a real diamond and cubic zirconium.
Okay, well, cubic zirconia is basically plastic.
Okay.
Okay, so something like this gets worn and gets scratched. So it's basically disposable. You wear it, half a dozen times, it's going to get all scratched up, it's going to look like junk, and which it basically is.
Okay.
And then you throw it away.
Okay.
Diamond never scratches, or I don't say never, or it's the hardest substance that we know of. So it doesn't scratch, it wears very well, and you could wear a diamond, 50 years. People take diamonds out of their grandmother's ring, I'll clean it up, it's brand new, it's perfect.
Okay. All right. So it's a lot more. It's recyclable for a long time.
Okay, it's
For a long time,
recyclable,
right?
okay.
I mean, that's the only word I can think of to use when you're talking about something like that. So
Recyclable or reusable?
reusable, I guess.
A diamond is forever.
There you go. Hey, I've heard that before somewhere. I like that. Okay. Well, good. So one of the questions I was asking as far as the industry goes, is it you go from the mines to producers to store? Like how does that chain go in a diamond?
The diamond, well, like I said, it starts with De Beers, buys out of the mines.
So De Beers is a miner?
No. De Beers buys the rough out of the mines.
Okay, all right.
So that's their job, is they control interest in all the mines, and then they buy whatever comes out.
Okay,
And then they sell the rough. Well, of course,
right.
cut diamonds don't come from mine. They're rough diamonds that need to be cut, and then they'll sell the rough.
Okay,
And
okay.
then that's how it comes down the chain. Site holder, secondary market, diamond dealers, several diamond dealers. I mean, diamonds could pass through 4 or 5 hands of
Right.
dealers before it gets to a retail store.
Okay. And is De Beers the biggest, I guess, distributor of diamonds like that? Are they?
Yeah.
Are they the only one?
There are other mines out there. There's a mine in Canada, a mine in Russia, but they don't come close in the amount of diamonds that are produced through De Beers.
Is there a country specifically that has the most diamond mining places in it? Is there any
South
particular-
Africa is particularly known for that.
Okay. What about any other countries?
Canada, Russia.
Oh, Canada. I don't know
And I'm sure there's smaller mines throughout the world, but I'm not quite sure exactly what the other major ones that De Beers is involved with.
Are diamonds and mining diamonds a lot like oil and that new patches of mines are found or around the world, or is it pretty much the mines that we have out there are the mines that there's going to be?
I'm sure that there's a possibility of finding new mines. Once they find a mine, I mean, they're huge. I mean, you can go online and Google diamond mine. You know, it starts in, and then they create a hole, and then they go down into the earth. And these mines are so large. I mean, they have huge dump trucks that go in there, you know, excavating equipment. So it's not like, you know, the size of this room. It's the size of a city.
Okay.
You know, they're huge.
Wow, I don't know they're that big. So that's when I think about diamonds, I just think about only certain areas where you can get them, and I don't know if that's prevalent, like if there's a ton of them, if there's just a few of them, as far as places you can mine diamonds. I mean,
I guess
that's why I asked that question.
They're not really there until you find them.
There you go.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, is it?
Don't dig a hole in your backyard. Put it that way.
You know, I mean, can somebody be in South Africa and just discover one, or is that like, is it a different kind of situation?
You ever watch the show Gold Rush?
Never. See, that's what I'm saying. I just, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I know nothing about it. So that's why
I don't
ask
know
these
much
questions.
about mining, but you know, there's, you see in the movies the people out there like panning gold.
Correct.
You know, looking
yes.
for, so that's in
what
a
I think of.
riverbed.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the runoff from some of those mines ends up in the riverbed, because when the diamond is formed, it comes up through a huge eruption underneath the earth, and it forces those stones up to the surface.
Okay.
And if you happen to be by a river, then they'd be floating in the river. Well, not floating, but you know, they'd be hanging out in the river. If there happens to be 5 or 10 or 100 feet underground, that's where they're going to be.
Okay. All right. And you got in the diamond business just by chance, right? Pretty much.
How did you get in the diamond business?
Well, my wife's family is in the diamond business,
Okay.
and that's kind of how things happen.
Oh, okay. Okay. When you were talking earlier, I thought maybe you had come across some jewelry, some diamonds that you got hold of, and just were like, okay, this seems cool. Let's get into this.
No. It's a little bit more difficult than that.
Okay. Well, that's why I was asking. I'm just curious to know.
In case you want to open up your own
That's
store.
right. Hey, you know what?
You
Maybe
can
I
buy
find
mine.
something and go, hey, look what I got. I'm in the diamond business.
We
now.
know where to find a wholesaler at.
That's right.
There you go.
So next portion, next segment I want to get into is the educational part, which for me is for guys like me out there, or even I guess for women out there, but probably mostly guys that just don't know what we're doing whenever we go buy a diamond.
Okay.
Because Johnny's a little bit more of a shopper for that kind of stuff than I am.
Okay.
But I'm not. I could sit down in front of a mall retail store and your store or whatever and just, yeah, that looks great. Like, you know, because I just don't know that kind of stuff. So I guess I'll start off with that. So what is the difference if I walk into a mall retail store or a store like what's the difference?
Well, there's a lot of differences. I'll just talk about first product. The product they have is pretty much going to be price conscious. So they're going to be saying, oh, it's such a good deal. You're getting this for this price. So basically selling lower quality merchandise. The biggest difference is who's behind the counter. That person working at Gordon's or Zales or Jared's, you know, might have taken a 1 week course or 2 week course on diamonds, and now they're considered an expert. Or maybe they've taken more courses. Difference between anyone of those stores and myself is I'm in the market every day. I fight to get the best deals for the diamonds. So, and I know the stones. I hand pick every diamond that's in my showcase. Those people behind the counter don't have that experience. So when I pull out a stone, I know the history behind that diamond, why I bought that stone, and why I think it's a great value. All they're looking at is a card and a price. So I think, plus, having said that, you know, my expertise, like I said, because I'm in the market and I have my money on the line when I buy the stones, I've made mistakes in the past and I learned from it, and I present that to the customer. So my clients, I feel, get the best value for what they're purchasing, no matter if it's a high or low quality.
Well, and that seems like at the end of the day, it's a financial investment for you. So,
Right.
because you have to buy these up front, so you're actually putting your own money into the diamonds. So you don't want to buy a bunch of shit and then be stuck with a bunch of shit. Like,
Right, it's got to be the best value out there, and I fight hard. And,
That's good to know.
It's
because I would think at the stores, it's just like, you know, whoever the store manager is or the owners are like, here's 100 diamonds. These are the price points. Sell them. You get
Basically.
a commission.
Basically.
What you're doing is you're investing your own money into buying stones. So you need to make sure that it's high end, it's quality, and that's why you're going to have better diamonds in these stores.
better value for sure.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah, because from what you're talking about, it sounds like to me it would be the difference between going and buying a suit, say at like Dillard's or a place like that, and then going and buying a suit at a custom tailor.
Right, exactly.
Because they're building the suit, they're doing it like you're building it from the ground up, pretty much, right?
Well,
From
Not-
the diamond
right,
to
right. So I have the inventory, and,
Right.
and I make sure that every stone in that inventory is the best value that you can find.
Okay.
And that's what I spend most of my time doing.
Okay, so you spend most of your days looking for the product, right?
It's, well, I'm in Houston. My suppliers are in Israel and Belgium, and India, so it's not like I'm doing that, but I'm, when shipments come in, I'm making sure that what I choose out of that shipment is going to be the best value.
So is that what you do? You bring them in, they ship you a bunch of diamonds, you hand select what you want and send the rest back?
Well, I hand select what I want. We argue over the price for a couple of days. And then I send the rest back.
Cool.
That's pretty much right.
So is there a lot of negotiation on your part with that? Like, is that something where it's pretty?
Pretty intense, yes.
Is
It's
it?
part of the business, and when you're dealing in numbers like we're dealing in, it's pretty intense.
I can imagine. I can't. I love being a fly on the wall, listening to those kind of negotiations. I bet those are fun to
Well,
listen to.
Let's take, for example, if I buy 20 1-carat stones, and I'm arguing, because we're buying it price per carat.
Okay.
So let's say I make a $100 per carat mistake, that's $2,000 out of my pocket.
Okay. So that's what you're talking about on the value. I mean, the people that come get from you are getting the best value that they can possibly get.
That's my promise to my customers.
That's good. And then, so when you're speaking about carats, let's go into carats. I guess that's a good segue into
Okay.
carats. So carat means, I just know that, okay, somebody says this ring is this many carats. For a guy like me, I'm like, that's fantastic. I don't know what that means. So
I do.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah. So what's a carat? What does it mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, a carat is a weight. So
Okay.
when we talk about carats, we put the diamond on a scale and we weigh it. It's 0.2 grams. So 1 carat is 0.2 grams. When you talk about a diamond ring of being 2 carats, now that's going to be the total weight of the entire ring. So a lot of time the retail stores are a little, misleading, because you'll see on there 1 carat diamond ring. Well, they come to me and they say, I want a 1 carat. Why is your 1 carat 2,500 and their 1 carat is 1,500? I look up the thing. Well, that's 1 carat total weight. That's a whole bunch of little diamonds broken up. The value is totally different.
I got you.
So, yeah, so that's basically what 1 carat diamond ring means, or 2 carat diamond ring is the total amount of every stone in that ring.
I never would have thought of that. It's because that's what you think of. People say the certain carat. I'm not thinking about the whole ring. I'm thinking about just the diamond part of that, right?
Well, yeah, not just the center stone.
Yeah.
So you choose, with me, you choose the center stone separately. I tell you exactly the weight of the center stone and the ring separately.
Okay, all right. So whenever you have somebody that comes in and that wants to sit down with you and go over that, does someone come into a store like yours and have the jewelry cases and everything laid out, or is it more like this gives examples of what we can do, but people are more like customizing jewelry with you?
No, well, we have a showcase with over 700 engagement rings. The center stones are not in them, but everything on the ring is already set with genuine, high-quality diamonds. That's the one thing that I don't don't skimp on is the quality of the stones in the ring itself.
Okay.
You can choose whatever quality center stone you want to put in there, but you can rest assured that the diamonds in my pieces are really high end.
Okay. So talk about places like these big box stores like Target, Walmart, Costco. When I walk through their locations and I see their jewelry. Costco's in the
I've
jewelry
seen them at
business.
Costco.
So is it kind of what you're talking about in these retail stores in the mall, like Zales and those kind of places, or is it a different kind of deal?
Well, all I can say is if you're walking into Target looking to buy diamonds, you're probably not my kind of client. It's probably someone looking for $99 item or $2.99, and they sell a lot. But particularly in the lower end category, they're not going to sell a $5,000 ring.
Right.
Costco does have higher value merchandise, but again, it's basically just like you're picking the can of coffee off the shelf or the 2 cans of coffee combined off the shelf.
Yeah.
You're just pointing at the thing and reading the tag and give me this, because the person behind the counter is really not educated, especially to the degree that we are.
They're a cashier.
Basically.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked into a retail store though, and do you ever kind of do any shopping yourself just to
Oh,
see
yeah.
what's out there?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever walked into a store and had somebody talking to you and that you go, okay, this person knows what they're talking about, or do you ever have that situation?
Knows what they're talking about?
Yeah.
No.
You've
No.
never been to a retail store where you've seen somebody
Do you
that's-
like picking
knows
them
what they're
apart?
I mean, for example, I was at, I don't know if I should say their name, Diamonds International.
You don't want me to put that across the bottom of the screen real big?
And they're known for the tax-free stuff at the cruise ship terminals. So if you go into a cruise port, they're all over the place. So I walked in there and I said, let's shop something that I can shop. I can know the price by looking at it.
Sure.
So I said, diamond stud earrings. I played dumb. He went over there. He said, 1 carat. I said, well, give me 1 carat. He says, total weight or each? I'm like, well, what's the difference? So anyway, he showed me the thing, and I take it out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, these are pretty terrible quality. It says on the card, L, I1, I2. Well, L, your nearly colorless range is G, H, I, and J. Your faint yellow is K, L, M, N. So they were in the faint color, and I could see that they're faint color. So I'm looking at him, he goes, yeah, those are nearly colorless. And I'm like, I almost was going to say, it says right here, L.
Yeah.
And he says, and they're SI3. It says right there, I1, I2. So, how often does this happen? I don't know, but it happened to me.
All the time, I'm sure.
I'm sure, because that person behind the counter is making commission.
Yeah.
My job is not to make commission, is to earn your business and, earn potentially your repeat and referral business.
Okay. All right. So tell me what it means, because whenever somebody has a diamond and they have that thing that they got up at their eye, what are they looking at when they do something like that?
The inclusions or the imperfections that we briefly touched about, little tiny black specks, the carbon inclusions, the cracks in the stone, any birthmark or blemish in the diamond itself.
Okay. Would that diminish, anything like that would diminish the value of the diamond? Is that what they're looking for?
Basically.
Okay.
Right. So the fewer inclusions, the more rare, the higher the quality, and the higher the price. So I can look at a stone, for example, a 1 carat, I couldn't tell you if it's worth $3,500 or $5,500 until I picked up my loop. Now, if it was a $1,500 1 carat, I can look at it and go, yeah, that's pretty low quality. I could probably see the inclusions pretty obviously.
Okay. All right.
And that's what the magnifying glass is for, to zoom into the diamond and see all the imperfections and know exactly what the value of it is.
Yeah, exactly. And each stone is unique. So I'll show people a couple stones of the same quality. And when they look at them, they may prefer one over the other, mainly because the type of inclusion, whether it's black or it's white, the placement of the inclusion, if it's in the center of the stone or off to the side, and just the overall appearance. I mean, not if you have the two in front of you, you may choose the less expensive stone just because something about it you prefer.
Is there I don't know if this is the right way to say it, is there a better inclusion?
There is.
More
I can
appealing.
answer that.
Oh, you can answer?
Yes.
Okay, more appealing, I guess, yes.
Well, Laura's diamond has a feather in it. Is that what you call it?
Right.
A feather?
It's a cracked, basically. It's clear.
Well, thanks. Cut that out.
Piece of shit.
That's good. See, we're putting Johnny on the spot. I like this. This
Not
is
bought
good.
by at Houston Diamond Outlet, by the way. Getting cracks in your stone, man.
Am I fucking red?
Real red, yes. Yeah, it looks
y'all
good.
are going to get me killed up in here. So there's a feather in it, and it actually gave it character. Like, we looked at a bunch of different stones, and a lot of them had different inclusions, and some were cloudy, and some had a bunch of specks, and this one it had what they called a feather, but it actually looked pretty fucking cool, and it gave it a lot of character, and she actually liked that characteristic to it.
Can you have an inclusion that can make it a pretty rare diamond?
You could potentially have like a trap crystal of some other gem or something inside the stone. I don't think that would actually increase the value, but maybe you might think it's cool.
Okay. So I guess the question I have in relation to the big box stores, the ones that you hear about a lot, Tiffany, Cartier, all these different, really, what's special about those places?
Nothing. It's a brand.
No, that's
good to know.
That's why I asked, because I mean, you
the-
hear about a Tiffany and a cart, like, you know, from a guy like me,
It's the same shit at Jared's as it is at Tiffany.
Same stuff that I have. It's the same natural rock that comes out of the ground. They choose theirs to their specification. Maybe not the best value, but they don't care because they're charging you a fortune for it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the inside of the ring, it says Tiffany. But on the diamond, you take the diamond out of that Tiffany engraved ring, and it's the same as you get anywhere.
And they get, I would assume their business is great. I mean,
Well, it's a brand, you know.
Yeah.
You buy
With them, you're paying for the box that it comes in that has the little logo on it.
yeah.
basically. So you buy a leather handbag from Coach, it's $400. You get it from
Gucci or
Gucci, it's
Prada.
$4,000. It's the same leather, you know,
Yeah. It's just a name on it.
just the name.
Okay. Are these places like what we were talking about earlier, Costco, Walmart, Target? Are these making any dip in the business as far as are they getting some traction? Do they do a lot of business?
Well, the Walmarts and Targets and things like that are, you know, really not in the engagement ring business, and if they are, it's the, you know, $199, $299 type of things.
Yeah.
You know, anything that's online is going to be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the internet has definitely stirred up the market. One of the reasons why I'm no longer selling wholesale to smaller stores is because I think in the future, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, that the mom and pop store is not going to be able to compete in the diamond business just because there's too many dealers between De Beers and them, and they're just not going to be cost effective.
Okay. I guess that would go what we were talking about earlier about technology. I mean, is that the biggest influence technology's having in the business is the internet?
Oh, the internet really has made a huge impact in the business. 20 years ago, I was one of the first in downtown LA to have a website in the Diamond District. And the way that the wholesale industry used to go was someone would come to my counter and they'd say, I'm looking for 2 carat, 3 carat, this, that. I'd look at my inventory. Okay, I don't have that particular one. I'll call my friend upstairs and what do you got? And he may have it. If he doesn't, he says, I'll be down and give me 10 minutes. And he'll run around to his friends and try to get that stone to get it downstairs to me to sell to the customer. Well, now through different, you know, business-to-business websites, we all belong to a jeweler's community. So we post our diamonds online. So you'd walk in and I'd say, I don't have that. Hold on a second. I go on the computer. I'd look at that. And now there's some guy I never met before. Could be in Dallas, could be in Florida, could be in New York. That's got a stone he might be interested in. Whereas I would call my friend before. I'm loyal to him because he would find me the stone. Now there's no loyalty. Now it's all online. So, you know, really stirred things up.
And with that online, buying diamonds online, how reliable is that? You know, because I know there's different, you can go to your website or there's some other websites, whether I've seen them on eBay, Amazon, all over the place. You know, can you trust buying online these days, or is it still better to go in person? Me personally, when I'm spending that much money, I want to go in person. I want to see it, touch it, feel it, put it on, all that good stuff. So I'm not buying a diamond online, me personally.
Right, makes sense. Well, you brought up a couple different points. Number one, eBay. Never buy a diamond on eBay, and the reason is 90% plus diamonds on eBay are what's called fracture filled or Yehuda treated or enhanced. So they have a big crack in the stone that reaches the surface. That if you were to look at this stone, you would never buy it because it got a big crack in it. It's obvious. So through a special process, they through heat and pressure, they force silicone into that crack.
Wow.
Now you can't see the crack anymore. It creates an optical illusion. So great. You buy. If I were to show you this stone, 1 carat for $500, a big crack in it, you wouldn't bring it back to your wife or girlfriend. No, she'd shank you.
Right.
So they force some silicone into it. Now they charge you $1,500 for it.
Oh.
Wow.
So now the problem with this is it's not permanent. So it comes out through heat, sunlight, especially if you put it in an ultrasonic for cleaning, or I do any work on your ring, I put a jeweler's torch on it, all that stuff comes out. So never fracture filled.
So stay away from eBay.
Stay away from eBay.
eBay sells everything knockoff, ghetto.
I don't know what it is about eBay, but everything on there is fracture filled. And every time someone calls, I saw this on eBay, I said, look at the description. It either says clarity enhanced or enhanced clarity, or it'll say SI1 enhanced, or it's all BS, and it's not. I think you're being taken advantage of if you don't know that up front.
Okay.
The other things, what was the question?
Amazon. You know, Amazon or just going to somebody's website. When you go to the website and they got the little sliders on there, you can pick your size, you can pick the cut, you know, the 10 different options you get to pick, you can pick it all, and it populates what they have in inventory. And when it says it's a VSI 2.2 carat, this clarity, this quality, and you hit buy now, is that really what you're going to get in the mail, or do you have to be scared that you might get something else?
Well, human nature is such that if you have 10 diamonds all priced, all the same quality, priced the same, so let's say it's a 1 carat G color SI2, okay? And you got 10 of them on the web, and most websites have like 50 of them. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be one that's priced the cheapest, and there's always going to be one that's priced the most expensive. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to pick the cheapest one. They're calling on the cheapest one. Well, what's the problem with the cheapest one? You can't. Usually it's the type of inclusion, like you said, you got either a clear crack, you could have a black carbon in the center of the stone that's very obvious. That only way you can sell that stone is to sell it at a discount. But you're not seeing it in person. When you come to my office, I'll show you the stones in person. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, this is one sold at a discount because you see that little black dot? If you don't mind that, I can save you $1,000.
Okay.
And this is a little bit better. This is a little bit better until you get to the best one. So no, not all diamonds are the same. Even though they're all the same quality, they're different birthmarks, different shine and sparkles. You know, when I look at stones, 10 1 carat GSI2s, there might be one in there. I look at it and go, wow, this is a nice stone. And I'll price it $200 more. Mm-hmm. Maybe I made a mistake. If I show it to someone else, they may not think the same. Mm-hmm. You know, so no, all diamonds are not the same. Should not buy it off of a list. I can't buy diamonds off of a list. I get a list of what's coming into production or coming out of production that they're going to ship me. And based on the price, I'll know, don't even bother sending me this. It's going to be junk. I don't want to waste my time and money shipping it back. And if it's too expensive, it might look a little bit better, but, you know, it's my job to balance, you know, look and price. So never buy off of a list.
Or, from my opinion, I'll never buy online.
Yeah, well,
if you're gonna make the investment, go in person, go to the shop, see what you're buying.
Right.
So then what are synthetic diamonds? I've read that about synthetic diamonds. What are those?
Okay, well, there's a couple type of synthetic diamonds. Moissanite has been around for several years now. And basically, that's made in a lab. It's silicone carbide, so it's just some thing that they produce in a lab. They're very hard. They look kind of like diamonds. If you don't know a lot about diamonds, you might not know the difference. They have a little bit different shine and sparkle, a little greenish sparkle to them. They're very cheap. On Amazon, you can find a 1 carat for about $100.
Wow.
The other diamonds that are fairly new in the market are called CVD, chemical vapor deposition. Deposition. What they do is this is relatively new, and it's grown in a lab. What they do is they'll take a seed, a little piece of a diamond, stick it in a gas tank, for lack of a better word, and then they'll pump methane and hydrogen in there. And methane, as you know, is a greenhouse gas, is wonderful for our ozone layer, and then they pressurize it, and then over, I think, a few weeks, that will start to grow into a diamond, into a rough diamond, and then they cut it. Now, sounds great. It's a diamond. It came from a diamond. The issue with those are, number one, it's not, you talk about bad for our ozone and our environment. That's not the best thing to do. Number two, right now, they're not cost effective. So whereas, let's say, a 1 carat, might cost you $4,000, for example, of a particular quality, theirs might be $2,500. So you're getting something that is not really natural, and you're still paying a lot for it. The third reason is De Beers has already agreed that they're going to flood the market with these things. So they're just going to make a bunch of them, and then they're going to flood the market. So the value is going to go way down. So what you buy this year for $2,500, next year is going to be selling for $1,500. In a couple of years, it's going to be selling for $500. So you definitely don't want to buy one of those either.
Okay. So it's a diamond. It's just not a legit diamond.
Yeah, not a legit diamond. If you knew how the diamond was formed, these things were 1 billion years old. I mean, the way that the thing is formed in the crust, and just reaches the surface from these volcanic eruptions. It has to be strategically placed, and it has to come at a certain speed. Otherwise, it won't grow into a diamond. It'll go into something, graphite or something else. I mean, maybe that's another story for another day. But it's once you learn how a diamond is formed and reaches the surface, it's amazing.
Cool. Are you ready for the grilling now, Jay? We're going to learn about you, buddy. You ready for this?
I already gave you the things we're not discussing, right?
I wrote that list down. Well, you know what? I think I lost that
6
list.
inches,
I don't
by
know.
the way.
I was going to say, I think I lost that list, so I don't know where that went. But all right, so I guess you kind of went into it when we first started, but tell me a little bit, kind of go a little bit more on how you got started doing this thing.
No, we just decided one day, let's start it up, and I went down there, signed a lease, and we started.
Signed a lease on a spot to start doing
it? On a
it?
kiosk in the Diamond District of Los Angeles, and St. Vincent Jewelry Plaza, and I had a little 8x8 booth, and that's how we started.
So you said family business on your side or her side?
On the wife's side, and you can actually see a picture of me in the booth 20 years ago on the website, on our About Us page.
I want a copy of that, for sure.
I think I saw that, actually. I got on your website. I think I saw that. I may not have known what I was looking at, but
yeah, a much younger version of this.
I think I saw it. So we're talking about your wife. So if you don't mind, you are married, and so tell us a little bit about your family.
So we've been married 26 years. We started right off the bat with the business. We have 3 daughters, 23, 21, and soon to be 13. I'm sure she's not letting me forget that because this is the month she turned 13. So
Okay.
Do the kids want diamonds on their birthdays?
No, they want iPhones.
So it's like every kid then, I
There
guess.
you go.
Apple products?
Yeah, because that's like mine too. Well, that's a heck of a way to start a marriage, is getting business like that, right?
Yeah, right away.
You just went right into it.
Right into it.
Well, that's good. That's good. So it's a business partnership with you and your wife, pretty much.
Absolutely,
Right?
yes.
So how involved is she in the business?
Oh man,
Maggie's all over the place.
Really?
Hey, Maggie. How are you?
Yeah,
We miss you, Maggie. Next time, you're going to be here next month when we do this.
that's right. That's right.
She's the boss, huh?
She's the boss.
She's the boss,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. I mean, when we first started, she was it.
She was
the
it?
thing, and I was there.
Okay. All right. So in this business, and you can speak just in your life if you want to in general, or just in this business particular, what's been your biggest success, do you feel like, in the business? What's your thing that you put your flag on and you say, this has been my biggest part doing this industry?
I mean, it's not. I don't think there's one big success. There's a lot of little successes,
Okay.
and every year is its own success. But I think being foreseeing the future to some degree, and being the first one in downtown LA in the diamond business to be online. I was on eBay early. We left California when it was time to move. We're developing the website. Now we're into social media, and I think we're just trying to be a little bit ahead of everybody. And I think that's one of the things that this podcast is going to prove.
Okay. So just being fortune seeing, I guess. Just
Right.
seeing what your future is going to hold and being a step ahead of it.
Yeah, about the industry, about where it's going, and how to stay ahead.
Okay. What do you think's been your, if there has been, I'm sure there has been at some point, what do you think's been your biggest failure?
That you learn from, of course.
Yeah, that you learn from. I mean, that's what a failure is. A failure is a process that you're learning. So, like, what happened that you said? Because we've talked about that.
Did you lose a bag of diamonds one day, or just
Actually,
something funny? Give us a story.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be serious. Yeah, it's just
Actually, we did get robbed one time, and we were at a trade show when I was being an idiot, and I left the diamond box where it shouldn't have been, and they distracted us, and they stole the box, and it took us 2 years to pay it off.
wow, 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my God.
do you have insurance to cover you on something like that?
At the time, I did not. I quickly realized that I needed it.
So there you go. So see,
So
there
I
was
learned from that.
You learn from
there was
I
a
got all
failure
the
that you learned from.
boxes tied up in chains, and they're tied to the showcase. But that was when we were doing trade shows. So yeah, it did happen.
You don't do trade
Wow.
shows anymore?
No, not anymore.
How long ago did you stop doing that?
We were still doing it when we came here. So maybe 7, 8 years ago.
Are those beneficial, do you think, trade shows?
Well, for us as a growing business, a lot of it is turnover.
Okay.
Is turnover, so cash flow.
Okay.
So we would take a bunch of stuff on consignment, take it to the show. In 3 days, we sell $100,000. We pay off the people that we needed to pay, and now I got a chunk of change
Okay.
that I can buy some more merchandise or make some more merchandise. So
Okay.
that's a fast way to make money, and that's how we did it for about 15 years.
Okay.
It's nice to have those quick revenue streams.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Well, if you weren't, I think we kind of talked about it when you first started in relation to the other things you like to do. But if you weren't in diamonds, what else? Do you have any idea what else you'd be involved
I'm a
in?
UFC fighter.
Well, that's where I was hoping you would go with it, because I know that's what we were talking about. So expand on that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your interest in that.
I've always been a fan of the UFC since 25 years ago. Now it's been. I used to watch them, and my wife hated it. And as time has gone on, I've kind of gotten into the sport. I train a little bit here and there, and it's something that I enjoy, and it definitely helps. With the frustration of
sure.
some of the
But
things.
you're holding back because you're a badass. Aren't you jiu-jitsu at a brown belt?
Yeah, brown belt and
You're
jiu-jitsu.
brown belt and jiu-jitsu. You're a fucking badass.
I don't know anything about jiu-jitsu.
Like, you can fuck somebody up.
Oh, really? Can you?
Well,
You're kind of I got to register these as concealed weapons.
Well, if in the jiu-jitsu world, the brown belt is, I got
I'm not
a couple
talking
stripes and then black. So,
Well,
Okay.
10 years
in
to-
our world, you're a badass.
yeah,
Yeah.
You're your average person, yeah. So it's,
Are you doing that? Is that something you're doing every day? Like when you do jujitsu, do you do that every day?
I wish my body cannot take the abuse.
No, no. But I mean, you still do classes and do things like
Yeah,
that?
my goal is 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay, all right.
What gym do you go to?
That's what I was
Third
about to
Coast MMA, up
Okay.
Sugar Creek and Sugarland.
Cool.
Okay, all right.
Well, what's
Jason
up?
and Joe Solis, the professors over there.
They're professors.
Yes, you call them professor.
What's the professor for?
Well, because they're the teachers. They're
Okay.
more than a teacher. They're a professor. Both of them are.
Okay.
Joe's over 30 years plus in MMA, and his son Jason's actually a pro MMA fighter as
Okay.
well as medaled jiu-jitsu player in the country.
Real
Okay.
cool. So that's Third Coast MMA over in the Sugar Creek area.
That's correct.
Give them a little shout out.
Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely. So, in your process of developing this business, has there been anything specific or special you've learned about yourself doing this?
I am patient.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Because a lot of times there's a lot of hand holding. Like most people, like yourself, they don't know much about diamond when they come in. The other part is I get those customers that they know more than me when they come in because they read a couple articles online and now they're the expert. So I have to be patient, and some people are not so, and I think that's one of my advantages because several times customers have come in and they said, you know what, you're so nice. I'm like, you actually walked in somewhere and they weren't nice. I just think they weren't patient.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to handle the frustration.
Yeah.
I'm not a patient person.
Well, then don't do diamonds.
I won't.
In my industry, like what we were talking about earlier in the car industry, I get the same thing, so I can understand how. Like, well, I was reading online and they said that this is the best way to do this, and
Right.
you're just like, no, that's not the case at all.
Right.
And so, probably doing a lot of education whenever you're talking to people.
Yeah, a lot of it's, half of what you read online is not true, and half of the rest is inaccurate. And I have to kind of weed through that inaccurate things that people think that they know. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
Okay. So what about you, as far as in this process, this conversation we're having, has there been anything that you've wanted to discuss or talk about, any points that we haven't hit that you want to get across to people watching, or any information you want to give, anything that you want to get out there?
Well, I'd like to, there's a lot, and just watch for episodes to come because there's a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff, interesting facts, how diamonds are formed. It's just a magical process, and I think if people understand it, and then they're buying something that's a gift, but they're actually understanding what they're giving, then it might be a little bit more romantic than I'm just buying a very expensive shiny rock with some little black specks in it.
Well, and I think that's going to play into bringing Jay in a couple weeks for Valentine's Day. A lot of people buy jewelry and diamonds as gifts, and I'd like to get you in here, if that's all right with you, to discuss a little bit about what people should buy, what they should invest in, whether that's colors or shapes, or what are good buys and not related to the Valentine's Day holiday. So if that's good with you, I'd like to get you back in here in a couple weeks to go over that.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this has been educational. I've learned a lot. I know people that are probably in a position like me. I hope they learned a lot, because I knew a lot. I know more now than I did before when we started. So I thank you for that. To wrap up and review, give us so it's HoustonDiamondOutlet.com.
That's
the
correct.
website. Okay. Where's your location?
We're on Richmond, about a mile and a half west of the Galleria. It's an 8-story glass building, so there's no signs out front. 6222 Richmond. We're on the second floor, suite 255.
Okay. And phone number is 713-784-RING.
That's right.
713-784-RING 7464 if you don't know how to spell it, ring on the telephone. So HoustonDiamondOutlet.com, 713-784-RING. Jay, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you coming out,
It's been
boss.
fun. Yeah, absolutely. Johnny, anything else?
We're good to go. Let's
Okay.
wrap it up.
Hector, close shop, sir.